Kasana, we don't do anything. Action. What is our action as Ghanaians? Yes, starting with the Ghanaian community. What are we doing? And Dr. Kodzo, Dr. Mustafa, this is to you. You've got to come out with something. And I give you I always want to put a timeline within 4 weeks. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Auntie Alma. I think from a man's perspective, again, we sit here, there are a lot of men here and they don't want to talk. And it's because of the same issue, again, Bema and Kasa. So everything that they have, to me, I just feel that it wasn't really about blaming. I think when you get things from a man's perspective and you get from a woman's perspective and you put it on the table, a proper dialogue or a discussion can actually be had, so you understand from both parties. Because when you listen from a man's perspective and what they have, because truth to be told, as a man, utifia, and let me just say, maybe if you spend more time with your mother as a man, there are certain things that you hear your mother teach you, which is coming from a woman perspective. It is sometimes very difficult for the man to have the father around and then have that conversation to be taught the right part. So certain things from a man's perspective is coming from a woman perspective. And it is very difficult because when you enter the world with a woman's perspective of a man, you don't really get the real thing. It most of the time, I don't know what be our upbringing, but we spent more time with our mothers because the fathers were always outside, and then we don't really get the man's perspective as to how the world is and then how we should tackle issues and then all of that. Because or papa calm, maybe or papa or papa bufu and it is probably your mother who will teach you one or two things for you to understand. Say. So sometimes we go into the world with a whole lot of, I think, is it miseducation? You are supposed to take from your father, you are supposed to take from your mother. I always say it's two people coming together. You take the good bricks and then you leave the bad bricks out. So it is sometimes very difficult, but I want to say, to send you okay, because the moment you say, there's the saying, I don't know how they always say it, because we are not allowed to speak and we are not allowed to talk. And it is the same thing that is running through. Because a man can't open his mouth and then tell you, say, this is what is going on, this is how I feel. No, it is going to be judged. You bet judge it to be misjudged. They won't listen. Nobody's, even your fellow men would even do that. Not even the women alone. Your fellow men will even do that because you're a man. You are supposed to do this. This your expectations, and then you don't do this. When she says this, do that, do this, and then do that. It is all wrong. We've all failed as at that point. So if it is going to be a conversation on the table, if they bring their perspective, if their opposites also bring their perspective, it comes on the table. It is not more like an argument. I want to understand why it is like this. And if I tell you why it is like that, don't brush it off. Because it's something that I'm dealing with. Because the moment you brush it off and you go in as much as I agree with you, this and this and then that, there is going to be a big deal. Then nobody is going to, then the men will always keep quiet because we have been taught. Maybe if you don't know, if the women don't know, let me tell you what the men, we have been taught. And every man is going to tell you, say only obanya asem. That's a kasani ye bebria. Chaso. Are the women willing to listen? And it's very important. And I may make say, so what's nasty? I can't divorce rate. What is bringing the divorce rate? And this is what we have been taught. If the men will be honest here and they would be willing to speak, yes, sir. Kasanya statanas in Tokwaba, because you are the peaceful one. When you are supposed to bring the and at the end of the day, everything is going to eat up in the man, and he's not going to talk. So if you have someone who is not talking, if they are not talking, this is the training that they've given to us. It's not every mother who told their son, say, you can't be. Because they be for peace to come. You're quite sorry. That is what the churches are also saying. That is what we've been taught. And that is what is affecting all of us, like all the men. So if you don't have men even talking, that is it, because they have been told not to talk.
Dr. Kodzo, just something to just add up to what you are trying to say. Women are wired to talk. I don't know, maybe because you're a woman, I don't know. But we are supposed to, I think, bring out, I think, over 250,000 words as a day in a day or so. Into women are wired to talk. And the reason why I like people to talk because the more you talk, yes, we are now tongue, we are another. You get me? Most of a mema bibria, ebia womu yari and naso, it's just because they didn't want to say anything about what they're going through. Into the best thing, the advice I'll give is I do understand what you are saying, but women are just say bibi crumple neba obekwa kobo na danfo amani intina wo share suicide in men is slightly higher than women. I don't doctor obetumi confirm ya mamia. Because
currently it is true.
Yeah, it's true because the point is Oba no baka ko kachire bia na danfo betu no fo. Oh men yes sir. Be man no so de oni obi obaka ko kachire no. Into no what happens is or the betio mu the next a minute no wakofa sika no dia wo obi. Into anaso obaka ko kum no ho. Into no is something I don't know, Dr. Kodzo, I've given you homework to do.
Yes, ma. I'll work on that. Abena.
Okay, thank you. I'm the host myself, to be honest. But thank you, everyone, for your questions. And I just wanted to make a point. When Martin spoke, he spoke about women empowerment. So I was going to say, sir, I spend quite a bit of time on social media because, I'm part of the social media generation, or maybe slightly above, I don't know. But and there was a time where I think a woman said something that resonated with me. And I even spoke to Dr. Kodzo about it, where the women said that we have become the narcissists that we were fighting. And so to the point that Auntie Amma said, and I think I want to say something, you may, as a woman, you may not agree with some of the points that are being made here, or you may have a counterpoint or whatever the case might be, and that's fine. I think at some point we will open a dialogue.
Hello, Abena.
Dr. Kodzo, while you are waiting for Lady Abna to reconnect, can I say this? Well done for this talk. And I'm glad today the men are talking. The last time we had something like that, the women have to come in and bail it. Otherwise, it was going to die off. There were no men saying anything. But at least today the men are talking. So I said I was going to keep quiet for the men to go on. But there are not many men here.
Oh.
One thing I didn't agree with you is you saying that when the ladies say, or wives, say, oh, my dear, what's wrong with you? You look down. Speak to me. I'm here, I'm listening. It's a trap. Dr. Kodzo, don't take that to the married though. It's not every woman that some of us really care. So whatever you've heard or seen is not like true everywhere. Some people may be trapping them, but others really care and want to listen, but the men are not speaking. So that's a bit that I want to correct.
That was a literal. The reason why I'm saying that it's a trap is because not that in real sense. Yes, some women do care. I mean, someone like my mother, I can go and then talk to her, and then I won't feel that I'm being trapped. The reason why I'm saying that, I have some female friends that I can go and talk to, and then it's not like that. My significant other I can go and talk to, and I don't feel trapped. The reason why I am saying that is, imagine I come to, let's say, I used our joint savings for something that I thought is going to benefit both of us. I made a mistake, and it didn't go well. Now I'm coming back and then telling you that, idea, this and this is what has happened. It's my mistake, and I'm going to fix it, but I need to let you know. yes, you won't be happy about it. It is really not going to go well. It's not going to sit well with you. But the way you are going to receive the information, you are a human being. You have every right to react the way you want to react, but it shouldn't go beyond certain boundaries. This is something that typically happens in real life. Open up to me. Oh, catch me. I didn't know me not yo. And the way the moment they open their mouth and then they tell you, then boom, that is it. So it puts fear in the man to even open up in the and all these things that I'm saying. If the men will talk, if our significant others will start opening up, you realize that the person that you are living with, you don't know them at all. Based on experience and people that have come to me at the hospital, I remember when I was in the hospital, when they come and then they open their mouth and then they are talking, a man will start speaking and then you see tears just coming down. And you ask, na hearing him, or because they be mean to me in country. Some women do care, bless them. Those who understand how to communicate, those who understand how to receive information and then know how to go about it. Like I said, it is a skill. Why is it that when someone comes to the hospital, and then they are telling you something, you, the doctor, you've been trained professionally to receive, in as much as you might probably be emotional, you might not be attached to the person, but you will receive it and then know how to go about it. But sometimes some people, not everyone, some people are very good, like Obia on the ups and downs. The bottom line of the issue is the reason why men don't talk stirs out from the culture that we come in. Beman kasa and as a bemensu. Okay, it's okay for you to cry. So ebi ambiswano, ebi a my sister catch him say, it's okay for you to cry. Itimitimu sucheno. Now makwa kushi obi a me pesa me worrying. So in my head, I know say it is okay for me to cry, but the lady that I'm getting married to know didn't get that training. Say it's okay for Bema to cry. The training that onya and say Bemensu. Into the moment I open up to her, then I realize because now went in a wusuna nasa same way tonight. The way you even say it, I will not open up and then talk to you. So the trap was just, it was literal. It's not something that I'm based on saying it is like that with everyone. I know someone that's so like I see videos and people testifying to the fact say, I go to my wife and I speak to my wife. She's the first person that I actually go to when there is an issue, because when she speaks with a lot of wisdom. She knows how to calm me down. So it still stems from the culture that we were brought up in. Like Auntie Amma said, the training that we give to our boy child, I don't want it to be like, because each and every time, you see, this is the issue. Each and every time the women have the opportunity to talk, when the men have the opportunity to talk, you realize that the women will also jump in. Like if you are willing to listen what they feel and how they see things, you probably understand where they come from. I may not be old enough, but sometimes you look at your father, like my dad in particular, and then you realize that there is a lot, baby, there's a lot on the man's mind, but he is not willing to share. But I need those kind of experience to build myself as a man. But we don't even get that from our own fathers. So it's not about a woman alone. My father is not willing to tell me what he is going through and then teach me the ways. How many fathers are going to open up and then tell their boy child, this is what I'm going through, so this is it, or this is how I handle it? So we don't, if to say ye can say a man in casa, better 1, 2, 1, 2, a man in a casa more. Even when the men had the opportunity to talk, they still don't want to talk. Open a dialogue for the men to talk, they will never talk. They will keep quiet, because the moment they do it, the women will jump in and then be like this and then this and then that. It stems from how we were brought up. Even if, let's say, Sabi, I know a man that Nyerini Wuja in Kuala Papa that is the man who actually brought the kids up. Even with the man in their life, the training that the man had, I believe, is that men don't talk. They don't talk. if you on anything or Obama ni oba, so Obani ye bibi na Obani kasana se bema be kebia junior ye din unya ba. So the woman will talk, the man is not going to talk. And that's why I always say, when we keep on doing that, where we don't allow them to talk, how are we even going to know the issues and then the problems that are even going on? They'll probably just go outside, go and drink over it, turn to something else, and then this whole thing will come. I don't want to talk a lot. I'm not the one into there. I'll just take it from Susan, then Paul, and I think Abena is also back, so we'll continue to hear. So, Paul.
Yeah, Doc.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good evening. Nice submission. Good program. In fact, to me, I think all that you said, there is nothing that is a bit problematic here. Naturally, women are about 90% of them. They are in such a way. They are like that. The example you gave that when you are even crying, then they see they catch me. Sometimes turn out to be a trap. Is about 90 to 98% right, because you cited so many examples. Yeah, it will happen that way. You come back and explain that this is what happened. Let me also give a typical example. There was this investment in Ghana that came like a GCCH. I don't know if you heard of that before.
No, sir.
GCCH was an investment where you deposit the money and it grew very fast. Very, very good investment. So for me, I was running a business with my wife. I was the one in charge of the business. I do the connections, everything. And it's a huge contract. So at a point in time, I realized that my friend who are lecturers are investing into this GCCH. So I took 50,000 from the supply money and invested it into it. Then I told her that, look, this money, I think if we put it here, it will help. A few days later, she called me that, yeah, she heard the people are duping people and they are not genuine, so I should go for the money. She's not in favor of that. Okay, so I put in my request to withdraw the money, and within 1 week, the money wasn't coming. Then the issue started. Yeah, you came home as if you were dying. You were crying as if you have nobody left in your family. And then when I asked you, you told me you invested this money into this and blah, 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 and a whole lot. So it's like, so I asked, okay. So when I realized this and that, and I, just needed somewhere to put my head and think about what was happening, you were just taking an inspiration from that so that when the dust settled down, you can use that as a means of, firing me. God being so good that people were able to refund all the money, and I put it back into the account and into the business. It is natural. To me, it is natural. Women are just that way. You can cry to them with your problems and everything today. A few moments, a few hours later, that same thing could be used. The woman who spoke earlier that not all women are like that. Yeah, I understand her because she's been a woman, and also it's true, not every woman is like that. There are some genuine women who will never and ever do that because they have offered themselves for you to cry on their shoulders. But what you are saying is true. And 100% true. So if we can pay attention to that, and this is what is even killing a lot of men, right? It is killing a lot of men without the women knowing what exactly is killing their husbands, their partners, their friends, and whatsoever. Because actually men will never go and talk to anybody, but women, because they can't keep mute over issues, definitely they will relate to someone and the person will advise them, do this and do that. But for men, they will keep it to themselves. And then the next thing you see is either the person die with the problem, or the person will develop a mental problem, or something will happen to the person, or maybe the person will take an action that will eventually destroy his own life. So I think this is something good. This should be repeated again. And also taking our mental issues seriously is something that we shouldn't joke with. Especially those of us who have left Ghana and in the diaspora, we should take our mental health seriously, because naturally I observe that in the whole of Europe, pressure exists on its own. Whether you like it or yes, you face some kind of pressure by yourself. The system is pressured. So we should be much concerned about our mental health and take care of ourselves. So that's what I can say for now. Thank you so much for the platform. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to step in as a host, but I see something happening here that I wanted. That was what I was speaking about. So, of course, to your point, this is exactly what I do not want to see on the show today. Women are like that too. Like I said, you may not agree with everything that's going on the show today as a woman. That is fine. What I want the women to do today is understand what the men are saying. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It is not the women's turn today to complain or to talk about what's happening to them. I do not want the men being shut down, because that's exactly what they have said is the problem. And that is what is affecting their mental health. If a man says women empowerment is the issue, then that is the issue. There is no it's not up for discussion, not today. What we want to do is to allow these men to express themselves, and then for us to understand what are the causes so that we can bring up the solutions. So, yeah, so like I said, you may not agree with everything. There will be a time that we can come and have that dialogue between the two. But for now, as women, we have been invited to this table to listen, to understand, not to listen to respond, not to be defensive, not to push back and say, let's not do it, blame culture. To listen to what these men are saying and say, okay, fine, I may not agree or I do not understand at the moment, but let me hear you out and then let it resonate with me. Let me put myself in your shoes, and so that we can better help them. At another time, women will have the platform to speak, and you can also raise your own points and issues. So this is what I don't want to see. I do not want women to be the subject of today's conversation, because it is not for them. If that is okay. Now, so what I was saying, so exactly that's what I was saying, to the point where Martin said women empowerment is an issue. He's raised that point. It is not to blame women empowerment, but it's rather to see where things went wrong in women empowerment and how that has become an issue, because it's not only Martin raising that point. There are a lot of men who are saying this women empowerment, this feminism, this whatever. Where did the thing change? Because it's the same men that fought for us to get some of the rights we have. Not to diminish what the women did, but some of the men stood behind us. So we as women now need to sit down. If we are asking men to open up, then we should be ready to listen to everything these men have to say, even if we don't like it at the moment, because at the end of the day, that is exactly what a safe space is. It's to listen. It's to be quiet and to listen and to hear them out, and so that we can sit and bring solutions to the problem. Now, to the point of Auntie Amma said, let's concentrate on the children. I agree that to a certain extent, but we currently have young men who are about to get married. We have men who are committing suicide in 40s and 50s. So as much as we should concentrate on the newer generation, there is a generation, a lot of men in the system, that this rhetoric needs to change. If not, it will affect a lot. So for right now, we do need to focus on everything and everyone. We need to focus on what are the issues. Why is it that men get to 40 and 50 and 35? And then there's a sudden, I can't do this in life anymore. And, whatever is affecting those men. So I don't think we should just concentrate on children, but we definitely just need to concentrate on men as a whole, and figure out what the issues are so that we can bring the solutions. I agree with you as to what are the solutions. And women, when the solutions do come out, please, again, let's not deflect, let's not deviate, let's not try and make it but this, but that, but the other. Women will also get their chance, because when women are given the chance to speak, I don't think we would like it if the men came up and said, yeah, but you women do that too, and you do that too. And they dismiss what we have to say, and they say it's whatever that that is going on. So I just want to jump in and step in on that point. Please continue.
All right, thank you. I'll take the last one from Susan, then we'll just wrap it up.
Thank you very much for this discussion. I think what I was going to say, many people have said it now. It is a very laudable topic that we've discussed. I didn't join early today, but the few bits I've heard, I will say that if we could bring this particular show back on a bigger platform, because there are lots of couples, there are lots of men, there are lots of women, there's a lot of misconception, misunderstanding, and not knowing how to manage each other because we don't know how each other was created and each other works. But things like this can enlighten us and help us understand each other more, and we'll be able to solve these conflicts a little bit better. I'm not saying we'll go completely, but I think we'll manage it a bit better. Also wanted to speak about, like we said, the previous generation, the way we were brought up, it was about setting perceptions about men, women, and all those things. And I think this new generation, platforms like this, like you mentioned, the churches, marriage counseling and stuff, we should start adding more of these things, like creating the safe spaces in the home between couples, between parents and the children, that you can come sit down and speak to each other at certain times, and it's like no judgment. You just listen to me, even if you want to judge, but creating a certain way of responding or dealing with issues without the other one feeling intimidated or being judged and reacting too quickly when maybe later on you think about it and you would have thought you shouldn't have reacted that way, and it would have blown out into something else and escalated into something else. So I think we should be able to promote more of creating safe spaces in our marriages, in our homes, and also conflict resolution and conflict management. How to be able to listen to the other party or the other person. It could be your spouse, it could be your children, it could even be work colleague or but being able to sit down to talk about things, listen to the other person, try to see things in the other person's view. It's not a force. No matter what you do, sometimes you not see it in the other person's view, but at least taking a second to listen makes a big difference in both minds, and you're able to work towards a better understanding. So that is my little contribution on this. I feel this program should go far, not being today only, but we should try and repeat it in other places and other things to help ourselves.
Thank you very much, Susan. I think I'll speak to Nana Kwame about it. Then we'll probably have it says it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. I think everyone has made their point, but one thing that we should understand, just like every time, sometimes this conversation is actually very difficult when it's coming from a man's point. So it's sometimes good to hear it from a woman's point, where they speak the minds of the men only if they understand. And I always say this, that as a woman, you never know, you might probably give birth to a son, and then imagine if your son grows up and then he goes through some of these things. As a woman, you might probably not be happy that your son, your brother, is going through something like this. So if we say that it is open for men to speak and listen to how they feel, you sit behind it and listen to how they feel and what they think. So you realize that if you pay attention, the women and men are not saying different things. They are saying the same things that the women are complaining about. It's the same thing that the men are also complaining about. The only difference is that we've been brought up not to speak or not to say anything. So you don't hear men talking. You don't hear men talking and everything. Yuma, I get you. I think that getting to the end, it was shifted to mental health in married and speaking about mental health in men in general. It's very difficult it's open, but like I said, that is what they feel. So if a man comes on and then say that this is how I feel and I feel this is the problem, and the woman also comes and then say this is the problem. Now we know the problem. What is now the solution? It is not what you are thinking, man. It is not what you are thinking, woman. It is rather like this and it is rather like that. It is not like sometimes when, like I'm saying, if it's coming from a man's point, you might feel that the man is attacking the woman if the woman is also saying it. So I wish that the opposite sex will rather exchange. If a woman understands a man better, the woman can speak on behalf of the man, and then the man can speak on behalf of the woman. Why would I take it upon myself and then say, I'm interested in obstetrics and gynecology, and I want to understand women better than how they were created? So at the end of the day, do I even speak for the man? Because I go and sit somewhere and go like, women are hormonal. Sometimes I can't take it. In as much as I want to understand them, I am not a woman. I don't carry their hormones. The organs they have, I don't have it. And it's very, very difficult. So it's not something that they are attacking the woman. This is how I feel. This is how she feels. We come together. We bring the solution to the table. And then we find a common ground. All these things are based on the training and the culture that we have. So we'll find time and then have a proper discussion, a dialogue where the men will speak. We won't allow everyone to speak. We'll probably pick some few people, maybe 2 or 3 people to represent the men, then 3 people to represent the women, and then we'll talk about it. Mind you, when we are talking about it, it is not a fight. We are trying to find a solution and then become better for each and every one. So I've already been given an assignment. Auntie Amma has given me an assignment in 4 weeks. Okay, Auntie Amma, you probably have to fund the assignment too, because it might take time, and time is not.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying thank you, Dr. Kodzo, for this. And I think the point, and that's what I was saying before, I think the way things are with everything, the best thing to do is to have that dialogue where we have, like you said, representatives of men and women come to the conversation and and have that kind of dialogue. And then we can do separate ones as well, separate sessions where, again, like I said, when these separate sessions are happening, what I don't want to see is, yes, but the other gender does at that point, in that moment. Whoever the focus is on is whoever the focus is on. But when we have the dialogue between the two, there we can iron those misunderstandings. Aside that was a very, very great show. Thank you, everyone, for your questions. Thank you, everyone, for getting involved. Dr. Kodzo, any more closing remarks?
Thank you very much, man. Bro, how your mind they speak up. You know they alone. Plenty people they give you. So try and talk to your brother. Then see how things go. Thank you. All right. Thank you, everyone. Good night. It was a good one. See you next week.
Hey,
my chef and party planner. You know we can't get this retirement/birthday shindling go wrong.
Everything is almost ready, but small problem.
Why, what's up?
We are way over budget, Kweku.
Everything is almost twice the estimate.
Alibaba, okay? No worries.
So with TAPTAP Send, I have got a cake and decorations covered for the year.
You handle the food.
If any extra expenses comes up, just text me or call me.
I'm off today, so I should be easily reachable.
Hey, Chairman, it is for day.
Say, no be easy. Your chairman has time and money.
Allah.
Kweku tap, Kweku do, Kweku that.
Our chairman can call you.
Hey, Alande, chairman send them.
TAPTAP Send. Papa no. After successfully redefining Accra's skyline with the delivery of the signature apartment, Cape May Properties presents an exclusive unveiling of the tallest residential building in Ghana, offering a first look of Sultan Sky. Sultan Sky, a magnificent representation of the seamless fusion of quality, groundbreaking innovation, and pioneering architectural brilliance. An extraordinary structure set to reshape the concept of upscale living. thanks to its inventive attributes and unparalleled commitment to precision. This master-planned residential development will focus on the building's location, security, privacy, the design's aesthetic brilliance, elevated features in each living space, cutting-edge smart home technology, and amenities beyond imagination, with fantastic residential features which include 24-hour concierge service, a state-of-the-art fitness center, a floating tennis court, a floating swimming pool, a spa, a sky pool, a sky lounge, a movie theater, co-working spaces, kids zone, distinctive lifts for staff and deliveries, private gardens, chef's kitchen, expansive terraces, entertainment rooms, restaurant, and 24-hour security. Selton Sky, a new perspective in the sky.